Last time on the Salty Dog, the Aloha spirit was shining. The Latoff family received blessings from Hawaii. Then, Bunny Kahanamoku, nephew of the legendary Olympic medal winner, Duke Kahanamoku, joined the crew to offer his insight on fishing.
It's about 15 fathoms where we're going. Oh!
Then,
There he is!
Captain Mitch and his crew went for the blues.
Short water!
She started fishing for big Pacific blue marlin at the age of 4. Lauren Miller tangled with a Pacific blue marlin
Talk to me, Ian!
and showed who's boss. Here in one of the best fishing spots in the world, many consider the 31-foot Bertram a very productive trolling boat. The Salty Dog, built in 1973 and designed to catch big fish. Today's crew has already tagged a Pacific blue marlin, the prized catch here in Kona waters.
This is a brand new lure, just bought it a couple days ago and put her out for the first time, not even out 2 hours, she gets nailed.
The Salty Dog is located in 600 fathoms, just off Ho'okena. Tracy Epstein will now take over the captain's duties, and Captain Mitch will take his place on deck with a tag stick. Ian Kyneth continues his duties as wireman.
Just checking for chafe on the leader. It's too chafed, you want to change it. There's no chafe at all.
And Lauren Miller, she'll hopefully sit in the fighting chair again. Lauren sums up her thoughts about today's crew.
Ian's crazy, Tracy's a pretty boy, and Mitchell, he's just Mitchell.
Lauren started fishing consistently with IGFA rules at the young age of 4. In 2008, the Billfish Foundation awarded Lauren the World Top Team Pacific Blue Marlin Angler. She had 10 tag and releases that year, all on the Salty Dog. And Captain Mitch surprised her by flying to Miami for the ceremonies. Spirits on the Salty Dog are high, with one fish already tagged and released.
All right, hey, we can catch one.
Gliding across Kona waters offers a view and a perspective unlike any other.
Yeah, see him. He's gonna come off.
Then the mood goes from serene to chaos.
There he is. There he is. No rigger. Whenever you're ready, Trace. Ian, get your gloves on now. see where it was hooked? I think right here. Get the leader, here he goes that way. Back. Get it in, get it in.
Captain Mitch tags the marlin. Estimated weight, 150 pounds.
Nice job. Great job. Those are fun ones to do, you know. So we're all stoked. We gotta go get another one. I gotta pee. Fish lit up, swam away, caught him really quick. This is the best way for those fish. You'll see some people end up fighting them for 2-3 hours and then trying to let them go, and the fish, call them mud darts, straight down to the bottom, game over. We don't like to do that.
After tagging and releasing the fish, Lauren fills out the tag information for the Billfish Foundation. The tag will bring valuable information when caught again. Lauren also keeps track of the score.
Got another tag marlin.
The Pacific blue marlin has all the normal organs a regular fish would, only bigger. Last week we looked at the bill and how it's used in defense. That's a formidable weapon. It's used in slapping prey and stunning prey. But now we're going to look at some even more interesting anatomical features, including the dorsal fin, which is crucial to the marlin's swimming stability and speed. Amazingly, it can be raised and lowered. Its large crescent tail shape is common to fast-swimming, long-distance cruisers. It's no wonder that you will see modern warships and submarines adopting a similar shape for their propellers. It's a perfect balance, giving those big power thrusts for that amazing speed that we see. It's also very efficient for slow cruising over thousands of miles. Now, the otolith is a fascinating little bone. It's very similar to our middle ear bone. However, if you carefully cut through an otolith of the Pacific blue marlin, you'll see rings just like in a tree. The otolith is a flight recorder of the marlin, just like in airplanes. The otolith can give data on the marlin's growth and water chemistry. The water chemistry can tell you where the marlin has been. And the scales of a marlin are quite interesting, looking more like daggers than fish scales, and designed, I'm sure, to get under the fingernails of careless biologists. Marlin also have an array of parasites, both internal and external. Some parasites will be species specific and live only in one species of marlin. In fact, there was once a dispute over what species a particular marlin was which someone had caught. Bets were being made. Is it a blue marlin or is it a striped marlin? It had been injured early on in its life and it had no bill and it had no dorsal fin. I knew that I could verify it if I had a look at the parasite load. So I dissected it and found parasites that are only present in striped marlin. So we verified that later through DNA. So these species are fascinating even down to the last little detail.
Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media, from concept to completion. We turn ideas into images. By Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters. Join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. And by McKenna Ford.
This is Mike McKenna, and that's Hana Boy. Like he says, couldn't be a better time to buy.
The clouds have come in today. Giant Pacific blue marlin have been biting. Their mission today is simply find one. Captain Mitch has invited Brenson Holder. He'll be the wireman. His father, Big Daddy, will have the tag stick. Also on board is Jay Bly and his nephew, Turner Earhart, today's angler. They're hooked on a big Pacific blue marlin, and he's not going down easy.
Get the leader out of the water.
After 25 minutes,
Off.
the fish throws the hook. Turner stews over the loss quietly. He really wanted this fish. Captain Mitch, on the other hand, sees some consolation.
Well, the hardest part about all this whole fishing thing is waiting for the bite. And when you finally do get one, you know, you feel a lot better about yourself and what you're doing. You have confidence in it. I feel pretty good even though the fish came off, but it still sucks to lose them.
April of 2002, fishing on board the Huntress. Randy Parker running the boat and myself as the crew member. We'd just kind of completed a long day of fishing without a whole lot of action, trolling up the line late in the afternoon, right outside of the VV buoy, Kahaluu area, probably 600 fathoms of water or so. Randy and I were both sitting on the bridge and saw a big boil on the long outrigger. You know, knew it was a pretty sizable fish, couldn't tell for sure. And didn't take it. And, we sat there and watched for a little bit, had enough time to actually come down and alert our charter that we just had a nice fish come up and try one of the lures. The three of us sat there and looked, and finally it came back on the stinger. Exact same thing, big boil from underneath the lure. Pulled it down that time, started taking line, nice and slow, nothing too exciting to start off with. Got Jeff set up in the chair, got the rest of the gear cleared and started chasing the fish around. Hadn't jumped at that point yet. We got probably half the line back or so, I'd say, that we had out initially. Then it came up jumping 50, 60 yards behind the boat. Jeff was doing a pretty good job on his own without a whole lot of coaching and getting the fish up. Randy got it up alongside the boat and kind of backed after it and chased the belly down, and Jeff was able to get it up pretty quick, and I barely had time to tie the last gaff off. I had one glove on my left hand, and as the swivel was hitting the tip, I was putting the glove on my right hand with my teeth. Got the fish up, got a few sets of wraps on it. It was swimming away from the boat, and Randy was backing up alongside of it. Right about the time I was ready to call him over for a gaff shot, the fish stuck its head out of the water like it was gonna jump and got its head about halfway out of the water. I realized that the hook was just over the fish's bill. Shook its head once like that, and I had just called for Randy to come over, and the hook slid right off its nose, and the fish kind of fell back in the water and kind of sat there stunned for a second, and the boat kind of drifted by it, and Randy came over and reached out as far as he could and got the thing. Got a gaff shot in that was just good enough to hold until we could get the boat back to the fish again and, you know, secure it with another gaff. About a 25-minute battle total ensued. The end result was 1,174-pound blue marlin, the greatest day of fishing I've ever had. Definitely a career milestone, something we're looking forward to doing again.
It's another gorgeous day along Hawaii's Kona coast. Today, Charlie Bowman joins the crew, along with Captain Mitch Ladoff and his father, Big Daddy. Kona, Hawaii is famous for its perfect fishing conditions and close proximity to big Pacific blue marlin year-round. Captain Mitch will pilot the Salty Dog down south, first swinging out from the harbor, then moving down the Kona coast, then eventually down to Lima and Sierra.
We're coming off a really good day yesterday. We managed to find two. You know, a blind hog finds an acorn every now and then, so I guess yesterday was just our day. So the game plan for today is we're just gonna go ride around, drink a bunch of coffee, and hopefully get bit again. Got the clickers on in case we kind of doze off, we'll know we got a bite. Hopefully we get smiled upon again.
Charlie assembles a lure under Captain Mitch's instructions.
This is a bullet that runs beneath the surface, is weighted, and the name of this one is Pinky.
Lures resemble a curious shape that could be interpreted by Pacific blue marlin as smaller fish, squid, or something weird to eat.
Each skirt has to be individually tied so it doesn't slip off.
The glitter on this particular lure refracts sunlight to the depths below, all designed to catch a fish's attention.
See, there's glitter everywhere.
You got glitter all over your face and a big old smile. Look like you just left the strip club.
I don't know anything about that.
Captain Mitch puts his eyes to Charlie's craftsmanship.
Put the middle one on inside out. I didn't. Yeah, so all the glitter is facing in.
Son of a...
Oh well, this lure is an experiment and may not make it into the Salty Dog starting lineup.
We probably have 10 lures that we'll rotate through all summer long, if that many. And most of them are pretty much exact copies of the ones we got. You find something that works for you, you stick with it, you gotta pull it over the fish's face, and if it's gonna eat, it's gonna eat. Now, these are all hand custom made lures. They all run flawlessly, and if they're not, you know, we don't use them. I have hundreds of lures at home that I'll never pull again. Collector's items, if you will. But they're just, it's taken so long to get the correct spread, just how we want it. As long as we all have confidence that this is the best way to do it, that we know how, then that ties into the success thing. You have to have confidence in what you're doing all day long, every day. That's pretty mean.
It is pretty awesome.
Captain Mitch marks a small fish. Charlie teases the fish by reeling up the lure. And it works.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That was pretty funny.
Charlie, see if they'll swing out.
It looks like a small spearfish,
Oh, yeah.
found for the most part here in Hawaii. Because the crew uses a 130-pound test line, this fish should come in quickly.
Don't rip its face off.
Pop it down and low.
That's the cutest little chucker I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, son of a gun.
Good release.
I'm not ashamed.
Aloha, this is Captain Mitch. Have a question about sport fishing? Post it on facebook.com/saltydoghawaii and I'll answer. Please include your first name and where you're from.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode. Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media, from concept to completion, we turn ideas into images. By Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters, join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. And by McKenna Ford.
This is Mike McKenna, and that's Hanaboy. Like he says, couldn't be a better time to buy.
Next time on the Salty Dog. On any given day in Kona, you'll find 1,000-pound marlin.
All of a sudden, she went for a death dive.
Took us about maybe an hour and a half to plane it up.
and she came up like a submarine.
Satellite tagging can allow us to learn more about marlin migration habits and where they spend most of their time in the water column.
The crew of the Salty Dog have colossal fish on their mind. Lately, the marlin have been mediocre.
500-600s.
The challenge is trying to run a lure over their head.
The one person that when I think of any type of fish in the world, Mitch Ladoff is who pops into my mind. Me, I love to fish too, but not with the heart that he does.
We on?
Yeah.
Then, a host of boats convene at Seabuoy and see the telltale signs of baitfish.
Let's clear them.
The skipjack are running.
Real fast, real fast, real fast.
These are the live bait, 2-pound fish that seem like a mere candy bar for marlin. Plus,
all right, let's go get it.
Ashton Ladoff guns for a feisty fish. It's another Hawaiian-style showdown
Let's do it again.
on the Salty Dog.